Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our reaction and review for From Season 2, Episode 9, Ball of Magic Fire, which is about as cool of an episode title as you're ever going to get.
No, it really is.
This, this is one of those episodes that it's just sort of like, really? That's how you're going to end this? You're going to give us 3 cicada attacks. You're going to make us wonder
Mhm.
about that. You're going to make us wonder about the freaking lighthouse, which we've been wondering about for a very, very long time.
Yeah, this episode gave us way more questions than any kind of answers. This felt like it's really ramping up the mysteries going into the next episode.
I understand it. I am also angry. You can be both. You can,
Oh,
like, I really love this episode, but I'm also just like, guys, guys, you gotta give us one answer for every question you introduce. Not, we're just gonna give you like 500 more. That's fine.
no, there's absolutely a lot of, balls in the air right now with this show of so many mysteries. There really is. And now with the cicada mystery coming in, it comes in threes. We've got Julie, Randall, Muriel all getting attacked by the cicadas. It's like, what does that mean? Like, where are we going with that? We've got some theories on that of
Yes.
what we think it's actually going to mean, sort of the meaning behind cicadas in general, and, a lot more.
If you guys want even more theories on From beyond all of this, including just the discussion about why are all these people in this town in the first place,
Yeah.
we've got that over on our Patreon, which we've got a link for you guys in the description below. We highly suggest you check that out. Thank you to everyone who has. We love talking about this show so much, and it drives us crazy in all the right ways.
Absolutely, it does. Okay, so we're going to start with the cicadas because we have heard this nursery rhyme that wraps up this idea of these things coming in threes. And like I said, it's hit Julie, Muriel, and Randall. They've all been attacked by cicadas while they're all battling this don't go to sleep because people are now dying in their
Yeah.
sleep. None of them were asleep. This was all just happening while they were trying to stay awake. It seems that it doesn't matter if they're awake, it doesn't matter if they're inside, it doesn't matter if they're asleep. Everybody's in danger all the time. There's no getting away from it no matter what you're doing at this point. And we did a little bit of research, sort of a background on cicadas in general, what their meaning can be, and it can be like a rebirth. And for me, cicadas just meant the end of summer. I'm from Canada and Toronto, and whenever I would hear the cicadas, I was like, oh, the fall is coming, which again signifies change, right?
Yeah.
And we know that on the show we've had cicadas. The leaves are falling off. Maybe it's kind of the same sort of thing. It's a change is coming in, change of season, change of everything. So my theory,
Yeah.
everybody get on your
All
tinfoil
right.
hat because this one's a little bit out there.
Okay.
My theory is that with the cicadas and the change coming and us knowing now that the monsters are human, they're people, I'm wondering if these 3 have been chosen to be for this like rebirth that now they're going to become the monsters going into this next season. If it's renewed, it sounds like it's going to be renewed. There's
Yeah.
unofficial reports that it's renewed, but nothing official. So, I think it's going to be renewed. But, anyways,
Yeah.
going into the next season, that it'll be the town needs to kind of come together to save their own.
I think it's something that makes sense. I think the most important thing here is that the cicadas can't mean nothing, and I don't think it's that interesting if the cicadas just kill them, because then it's just like, okay, but then we're just down 3 characters, and I don't want to be down 3 characters at this point. Where I'm sort of landing on this right now, just because this show's already going down the road of, okay, we're just going to give you more questions. Like, let's just make things really weird. Like, let's just go full weird here and have it be that these cicadas, they're resurrecting these 3 characters into almost completely new people with completely new roles. Like, they'll still be, the same physical form, but maybe they sort of become the chosen ones. Maybe they are the ones who help to actually get everybody out of this community, or at least stop everything from going on. Nature has chosen them. And the reason this is interesting to me is just that I love the idea of having unlikely heroes or people in this role who are just not exactly who you would expect. Like you've got Marielle, who is just like deep in recovery and going
Yeah.
through like all sorts of different things right now. She's not exactly in a position to be a leader or to be a hero. You've got Randall, who is just a complete mess, who is just like freaking tying up Donna in the woods and thinking that this is all. So you've got him, who's just completely off his rocker. And then you've got Julie, who is still, despite what she's gone through, still a child. So basically, the future of this community is tied into these three people who don't exactly have much of a relationship between each other, let alone now you all have to work together in order to like protect and help everybody, where it's just like, you know, obviously Julie and Jim have a relationship, and Jim ain't too happy with Randall right now. I don't exactly think how that's gonna go well.
Okay, let's talk about that whole thing that happened at the RV because
Yeah.
luckily Boyd showed up and was able to disarm Randall, who's gone off the deep end, who, tie Donna to this tree. They all go into the RV. And I was like, okay, all right. They should at least be safe there for the night if they can control Randall, who then decides to like kick out a window. There was no controlling Randall, but it was interesting. At one point, we saw Boyd putting the bile on the bullets. And I was like, okay, so we're going to see if this works or not. And then Boyd gave Randall the gun. And I was like, wait, what? He just did what he did with Donna. He threatened Jim. Like, Boyd had to, disarm him to get him into the RV. And now you're going to hand him the gun? What's to stop him from just turning around and killing everybody in the RV and then running out and kicking out a window?
I guess Boyd was just like, if he's going to be a loose cannon, maybe he can be our loose cannon. Maybe he can do things in order to benefit us if he's just going to go completely haywire. No, it's not a good idea. Don't give this guy a weapon. But it's also, you were so eager to go and figure out the truth here, Randall. Why don't you go and be, the test subject here? You go figure it out for yourself. We'll all stay inside and be safe.
Well, the tests have been done, and it seems that the bile bullets, it didn't work out. It's a big no.
No, there was a part of me that thought maybe we were going to be getting somewhere with this, but it was sort of like at the same time, this is only season 2. It feels like it's a little bit too early for everybody to have an instant advantage on a lot of these monsters.
No, I didn't think it was going anywhere. I mean, when we first got this whole, worm blood thing, it was like, okay, they worked because they were in blood. And yes, the monsters don't have blood. So it's like, okay, well, then where are they going? But it could have been just that the worms went into Smiley. And because there was nothing to feed off of, it just killed him, and that was it, and they died as well. The whole thing just went up in flames, and they weren't in the bile. I mean, there's no way to really test the bile or whatever except the way that they did, but I mean, it felt like a really just desperate, we don't know what to do, let's just try whatever we can and see what sticks.
Here's the bad news now, Boyd. You're going to have to get a lot more worm virus things. You're going to have to start either just do it to yourself again and again, or start spreading it around to other people.
Well, that's the thing of again, the last episode where Donna was like, let's burn the body. I was like, what? Why? Why would you do that? Because if this bile thing doesn't work, then you still can go back to Smiley and see if there's something else that does work. But nope, that's up in flames for no reason. You didn't have to have him inside. You could put him in a shed or somewhere else. But what a mistake.
I would have made the same mistake. I do not want that body coming back to life on me. I do not trust it.
No, I understand, but at the same time, there could have been answers in there.
Donna's not dead. I don't think this is much of a surprise to anybody out there. I don't think any of us really thought they were going to get rid of her at this point.
I didn't, but I mean, this show isn't afraid to take big swings, so.
I just love the idea that at the end of the episode, her and Boyd just trotting back into the house. Nobody's even really asking about Randall. I mean, granted, it seems like they have other very important things to deal with, but still.
They absolutely do. He may be back on his bus or whatever, but it was interesting to see them like actually get away, get into the van, get back. Yeah, there's a lot going on. The cicadas have obviously been a big part of this story, but it seems like the lighthouse is also really
Yes.
coming into play here with the pictures that, Tabitha has, and she's talking to Jade about her visions of the lighthouse. We all know that Boyd was at this lighthouse, and she kind of comes to the conclusion that maybe the kids that she's seeing that are pawing at her aren't actually trying to hurt her, that they're actually trying to help her. And with her visions of the lighthouse and these pictures of the lighthouse, I mean, this lighthouse has got to come into play, right? Like coming up into the finale.
I think we got to go there. We need to go to the lighthouse. We need to get answers about the lighthouse. Whether it's Tabitha there, whether it is you send my magical cicada trio. Bad things can come in threes. Good things can come in threes too. They go there.
Boyd has got to go out there too. He has like actual information out there. He's seen it.
And it's just the symbolism behind a lighthouse, the idea of it being sort of a beacon of light for people who are lost. I think that can't be lost on anybody. And, of course, insert all your lost jokes here in general. But I think it's going to be very important for the sake of it, giving people at the very least direction, because I don't think we shouldn't view lighthouses as the thing that comes with all the answers. The lighthouse's purpose is here is where something stands. You still have to be responsible to get there. And it's like the lighthouse could show us, okay, this is sort of where you need to go, but how do you get there? How do you, whether it is, help the kids who are there literally or metaphorically, whether it is we're going to shine a light on what truly will put a stop to these monsters. That could be another thing that's very important. Is there like some sort of light magic that you could use on them? I'm partially joking, but also these things, are in the forest. They come out at night. Clearly, they're not a big fan of like being out in the sun.
Yeah, I mean, this was one of the things that Tabitha was also talking about, just the idea that Victor's mom was going here to save these children. And if that happened, then they would all be released. They'd be able to actually leave. So, I mean, this theory, it might hold some water. I mean, clearly children
Yeah.
in this town do hold significance. We've seen the boy all dressed in white. We've seen the children that are pawing at Tabitha. I mean, Ethan has, a role to play. Victor as the only surviving person at that time where he was also a kid. I mean, children are very connected to whatever is going on in this story. And if it is with the cicadas and the coming in threes, you've got Julie now brought into this, who I assume is still a minor.
Yeah, I want this lighthouse to give us some sort of connection point between a lot of these different things, because it is like, yeah, okay, we've got the cicadas, we've got everything going on with the children, there's the tunnels, there is Elgin and everything going on with Elgin in his dreams. There are still so many loose ends. There's so many questions, and it's like, how does all this actually fit into one piece?
Okay, we have to talk about the Sarah storyline and what's
Okay,
been going
all right.
on this season, because like season 1, she was a character that I was like very sort of invested in, and not invested in
Mhm.
like, oh, I really want to see her survive, but invested
Yeah.
in on like, why is she doing what she's doing? Like, how is this happening to her? The things that are happening to her, the things she's deciding to do to try to make things happen. But this season, she's been pretty much all but disappeared. Like, she hasn't had that much of a role. And of course, she's feeling terrible about everything that happened. She's back in town. She's trying to find a way to atone for what she did. But, Kenny doesn't want to hear it. And
Yep.
I understand. He doesn't need to hear it. There isn't any responsibility from him to make her feel better about whatever. But this whole thing with them, locked up sort of in the sheriff's office and everything with a gun, I was just like, it doesn't need to be here anymore. I feel like this story needs to push forward.
We do need another direction for it. It is probably the weakest part of the show right now, and it is a shame because we had all that really cool Sarah and Boyd stuff. at the end of season 1.
Yeah, and that it was like, Sarah might have actual information of what is going on in this town or what could be happening. She was getting these messages on her arm. It's like poof, all of that just completely disappeared. So what's going on with her? Like I thought she was going to be such a valuable like person that has just this information, that's able to share information. That hasn't really been happening that much this season.
Let's go into the idea here of if we are to view what's going on in the world of From as whether it be some sort of trial. You've talked about experiments. Jim has talked about experiments. Like there is no matter what you view about it, I think that there is something to the idea of in order for everybody to get through this, there needs to be a collective effort to really, and this is a corny line, but we're all in this together. Like you guys are all in this together. And I think in coming together, I could see there being some things that sort of develop here. Like I think there is some sort of power with Sarah. I don't think Sarah fully understands it. Nobody really understands all of it, but I think through communication, I think through sort of integrating her more into the world, her function may actually start to surface. Again, it's like Elgin is starting to realize more and more about the dreams, and it's like, oh, you're starting to kind of understand things more because you are kind of immersing yourself more into things. You're starting to open up a little bit more.
This town needs to start having meetings. I've been
Yes.
saying this all season long. Like they did when we were first saw her, there was Colony House and then there was the town. And it's like they were all just living their lives 97 days without incident, all that sort of thing. They are
Yeah.
way past that now. They all need to start sharing information. Like it might be the thing that gets the brains going and gets them actually like thinking like, what if we do this, or what if we try this, or so and so has seen a lighthouse and now there's a picture over here of a lighthouse, and these children, they need to share information.
I think eventually they will get there. I think there's going to be a moment on this show, and I don't know it's going to be this season, but where they're all going to be like, okay, you know what? We're all just sort of spinning our wheels. Like, no matter what we try, it doesn't actually get us anywhere. And I think this may be the writer speaking to this idea where everyone wants to always feel like they're special. Everybody wants to feel like they're the chosen one. They're the hero of their own journey, that like everybody is supposed to be following them. But you can't think like that in a society like this. And I think it's almost ridiculous sometimes where we watch a lot of these shows where you have these strange communities and there's a sense of structure and it's like, oh, this person's the leader, this person's the bad guy. And it's like, in real life, maybe it wouldn't work like this. In real life, maybe everybody's like, I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm going to find this out. Eventually, you will all realize that I know best. You'll follow me. It'll be fine.
It's just interesting how many people in this town have a lot of information or have had a lot of things happen to them, like Tabitha going into the tunnels and knowing where the monsters sleep, and the only person she's really told is Jade. And like, that's valuable information. The lighthouse that Boyd saw, he's not really told anybody. Like, I just don't understand what benefit everybody in the town is having, especially at this point where it's like, you can't go out at night because the monsters are there. You can't go to sleep because people are dying in their sleep. The cicadas are coming, doesn't matter. If you're inside, outside, sleeping, awake, like nothing matters. They're coming to get you and they're going to get you. So it's just like, okay, well, at this point, you guys just need to come together. And maybe that's the whole part of all of this. The whole point of this is that all these people are going through transitions in their life.
Yeah.
They've all come together at that point in their lives where they're moving from one point of life to another point of life. And they need to come together in a way so that they can all just move into the next point of their life.
Can we just celebrate for a moment from once again being meta and recognizing that, okay, everybody's going to think that this baby is like evil or something like that. So we're just going to get out in front of it and have a conversation with Fatima about all. It's like, thank you guys so much. I now feel more confident that this is not going to be like the evil baby out to destroy the world.
That's one of the things that I've always loved about this show,
Yeah.
is that they will, know that a theory's probably going to pop up, and
Yeah.
then they'll, just go in and talk about it and be like, no, it's not that. Oh, we could all be dead. No, that's not what's going on. No, it could be experiment. No, that's not what's going on. And I really love that the show does that.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything special with this baby, and I'm not saying it won't be special to its parents, but it's just sort of like it's
Oh,
something that matters to them. I think there's still a human quality of that these people, they still got to live their lives. They still got to find a way to build towards their future, whatever their future is in this world. And I think that being parents and having this baby, that's enough. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. And and I say this ironically as somebody who basically just proposed that we were going to see Julie and Randall and
be
then
the
Mariel.
chosen one.
Yeah, be like the chosen ones. And
Hey,
be like,
I propose that they're going to be monsters. So,
well, I'm just saying that I know it's funny that like I'm saying that, they all have to be in this together and everything when I'm like, oh, there's 3 chosen ones. But it's like, even with the 3 chosen ones, they still have to be in it together. They still have to find a way to unify. It's like, I don't think one person, whether it is a baby, an adult, in between, nobody can really take anything out on their own unless you are Donna, and that is just because you are Donna, you can do anything. I believe in you. But it's just that's a part of this world.
no, people need people. And they need to come together. And it does feel like sort of the missing link in this show is that, you have they're just not coming together. They're not sharing information. They're not moving forward as a group. And maybe that's part of what it is that they're all trying to learn from this.
Okay, here's just the one thing I need in the finale more than anything else. You guys can leave a lot of things open.
Bring back Smiley.
Okay. What? No, I don't want to have nightmares from that guy again. Smiley can stay dead. Yeah, I said it. I'm done with Smiley. I do not need resolve the music box. That's what I want. I don't need to hear the darn music box anymore after this season.
Yeah, I want to know a bit more what's going on with it. I had a theory in the last video. I'm still standing by it that I think everyone's in some sort of group therapy, some sort of hypnosis or drug therapy or something that has to do with the music box, because there has been a lot of, figure it out before the music stops. And a lot of times in hypnosis, there's like, a song that plays, and when it's over, you're out, or a word, and then you're out. And like, I think that it's connected to something like that. Maybe we'll see them in season 2 of 9 Perfect Strangers.
Oh boy. I am still with my pocket universe idea here, which the funniest thing about Pocket Universe is that you can sort of resolve this however you want and just basically be like, it's a pocket universe. Those are the rules of it. You just gotta deal with it. But no, I'm actually I want this show to go as weird and supernatural as possible at this point. It's just you have put
I do too.
you have put too many things out there for me to not be interested in that angle. And I do want to see how you get out of this universe. If there is sort of a free flow that can happen where people can jump in, maybe the lighthouse is key to all of it. Maybe it is like, I keep wanting to call these 3 the Triforce, though I know I'm just, then I'm just like ripping off Zelda, but like still, okay, well, that is the penultimate episode from season 2. Buckle up, everybody. I am sure this finale will be something else.
Oh, yeah, it will be.
But also check out our Patreon for more discussions, theories, how these people are all there. Like, what's the reasoning for that? Thank you to all of our patrons, by the way, who are supporting us already.
Thank you.
And we will see you here next time.